All right, back for another round of picking and analyzing bowl games.
I don't know what we can call it analyzing. We're just kind of...
Are we
true analysts?
I don't know. I'll tell you this, I watched the Colts game on the NFL Network last night. And
I hate the NFL Network.
As much as I love Joe Theismann and his enthusiasm for the game and everything, I am not sold on him as an analyst. No. Not good. And no, it wasn't good. I do not feel like the quality of their broadcast was great, but who am I to judge?
Yeah.
We'll get to the
webcam to talk about.
Yeah.
And they have the NFL as backing them, so
that is a battle we cannot win.
Not now, not ever.
No.
But we will talk about
USF. Going to the Meineke Car Care Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina.
And for me, could this be any worse of a pick for me?
USF against Clemson.
Yeah, against Clemson.
Torn allegiances.
Yeah. And if you don't know me, I'm an alumni now of USF. I've been a USF fan for a long time, but I have Clemson in my blood. I have Clemson in my blood, and I don't, I'm going
I don't want to give anything away, but the next ESPN 30 for 30 film is called Torn Allegiances, the story of Robbie and who to root for in the Meineke Car Care Bowl.
I don't know.
You cannot fake that kind of drama.
You can't.
So who are you rooting for, Clemson or USF?
Oh, I'm rooting for South Florida.
Okay.
Obviously. It's not even a question. Not even a question I'm rooting for South Florida.
All right.
100% to South Florida, none for Clemson in this game.
Good.
Do I think that South Florida will win the game, though? That's a different question. All year, South Florida's been that team. Their defense has been outstanding this year. I know they play in the Big East, and I know that's going to be what people are saying, but every single game, I would say every single game on their schedule, I know they got beat 38 to whatever against Florida, but their defense has held them in the game the entire year. Their defense can play football. They have speed side to side. They have a lot of guys that have stepped up this year. Their secondary has gotten better. They have a walk-on senior in Mr. Raymond who has been amazing this year. They have a linebacking core that stepped up. They have these guys that have been playing really good and really smart football. And I think a lot of it has to do with Skip coming in and coaching that team.
No one is an offensive coach.
Right.
Too.
But and their defensive coordinator, just him being the head coach has limited their small mistakes and just keeping them more focused. I think that's gone for. I'm not saying he's a defensive-minded coach, but I think just him having the head coach and him bringing just his mindset into it has gone a long way. But the front four of Clemson is unbelievable. And
USF's going to need to bring a couple more walk-on quarterbacks to this game.
Yeah. Bobby Eveld is... I don't know who's starting this game.
Back there.
Yeah.
Daquan Bowers and company.
Daquan Bowers and I don't even know the rest of their...
Bowers, he took home the Nagurski Award as the nation's top defensive player yesterday.
And well-deserved. I mean, the guy is just a beast, and he's got so much speed. I don't know
he's
who...
the number one rated recruit in his high school class.
I don't know who... Nobody's
going to block him.
Yeah, they're going to have to use... they're really going to have to use a running back to block him, and then that takes away the running game. I don't know what they're going to do, and that's the difference to me. South Florida hasn't been able to score points all year. And
except for one game.
Yeah, exactly. Except for one game.
Cincinnati game.
And Bobby Eveld, I think he has potential, but it's his second game starting. He got thrown into Miami, made some throws. He showed signs of life. He had some spark in the UConn game. Moved him up and down the field, couldn't punch it in the end, lost in the game. You can say the same argument about Clemson, though. Clemson hasn't been able to score consistently. They're missing C.J. Spiller a lot, but they have Harper. And Parker can make the throws, but they're just missing that one guy. And they have that Ford and Spiller last year that took them all the way to the ACC title game with that speed. I'm going with Clemson in this game. I don't see how South Florida has an answer for that defense, and even their secondary. The secondary for Clemson is still really good, and I know their front four is good, but I just think they're going to be up in Bobby Eveld's face all day. Even if they play B.J. Daniels, I think that it's going to be a long day for either quarterback.
I have Clemson also in what's going to be an ugly game.
It will be.
USF just plays ugly games.
Yeah. And I think they're
good. They're pretty good in close games.
Yeah. They
did lose. Yeah. That was the first time they ever lost in OT, that UConn game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did that go to OT?
No. It was last game. They never lost in OT.
That's right. Yes.
They never lost in
OT.
OT.
They still have the perfect OT record.
Yeah. But I mean, I just don't know what you're going to do about Clemson's defense.
This might be the first bowl loss in the history of USF, right?
No, they lost
2, right?
No, are you kidding me? They've been like 7 straight
bowl games.
Yes. They lost in the Meineke. Actually, lost the Meineke Cargo Bowl to NC State when what's his name on the Texans? Mario Williams played for him, and he terrorized the USF defense. So I think the chips are the stars are aligning for this. They're in the same bowl, and they have a great defensive end going against them again.
I like Clemson also.
Yeah, Clemson. As much as I hate to say it, I've got to be realistic in my.
I can't be too much of USF. I mean, it's hard to be fair about it because I've seen a lot of USF, and I do nitpick at their problems. So I haven't seen as much of Clemson. If I've seen Clemson, I'd probably say that they have a bunch of problems.
No, they do because they have problems putting the ball in the end zone, and their field goal kicking is. I don't even know. It's a cancer. It is awful. It is god awful. They're missing PATs consistently. It's that bad. God. So, anyways, that being said, let's go to the next game. What are we even doing for the next game? The Florida games. Florida and Penn State, right here in our backyard here.
That's the prize right there. It's the Outback Bowl. Yeah. I want to go to Australia and play a bowl game whenever I found my college.
Actually, it's in Tampa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's not even. That's right here.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's the one we need to get renamed the Sportsmanlikeconduct.net Bowl then. Outback Bowl can have.
I feel the Glazers will like that.
Yeah. You get a presence up there at Raymond James Stadium. So the Gators, Urban Meyer's last game until he unretires again in 3 weeks.
I don't know what to say about that.
Against possibly, you have to. I think you have to say it every game that Penn State plays against Joe Paterno's last game.
He said he's coming back next year.
Of course, he's coming back next year. Like I'm telling you, he's going to die on the sideline. I love him, and I wouldn't even, I wouldn't even think it would be tragic. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be. Not awesome that he died. It would be awesome that he died.
I'm not trying to be insensitive saying that, but any Penn State fans out there would, I don't think have a problem with me saying that. No. I don't think anyone would have a problem with him dying on the sideline.
No, not at all. So, who do you got in the game?
Gators. I don't think Urban Meyer's not going to go out with a loss. No. I just don't see it.
It's just not going to happen.
No.
Even if he was I don't think even if he wasn't coaching, I'd still take the Gators.
Too inexperienced. They're it was definitely they came into the year knowing it was going to be a rebuilding year, and it's definitely part of a rebuilding year. They've just been very inconsistent. Both of these teams have been very inconsistent.
Yeah, and Florida, their record it's not an exact reflection of what their team is because they're not great. They're good. They've got a lot of talent.
They've beaten some pretty good teams.
Yeah, and they can put up some points and they can play defense and they've got a lot of talent. The thing that kills me with them is their 3-quarterback system. Nothing wrong with Brantley and I'm not going to get into that, but Brantley hasn't been I think a lot of it has to do with Brantley hasn't been that guy to really step in and maybe they weren't expecting him to right at first. Yeah. But I think a lot of people
were.
I definitely was. As highly recruited as the guy was, to come in and make all these throws that we were hearing about, and he hasn't been that guy. And we'll see what happens. I don't know, but I got Florida in this game too. I think they just have too much talent, especially against Penn State.
I agree. Florida offensively, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game next year.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I see it being a high-scoring game. They're two good defenses, but I think it's just going to be one of those games that you don't know what's going to happen in it, though. I really don't. This is tough.
I think the Outback Bowl was pretty good last year
because of that was the Northwestern, wasn't it? And Auburn
was it Northwestern Auburn? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
It was like
that was a
crazy game. So we'll see. It could be I always expect most bowl games to be high scoring.
Yeah.
Just because they're all on TV. Defensive games are not good TV.
Yeah.
High scoring games are good TV. It's been weeks off. Defenses are trying to catch up. Offense has been practicing. I don't know. I just feel like bowl games are usually high scoring. So I expect it to be higher scoring than people expect. I like the over. I like Florida.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
I agree.
On to the next one.
We both agreed on both of those, by the way.
Yeah, 2 Floridas and 2 Clemsons.
It's pretty shocking.
All right.